Work-life balance. Yes, work-life balance, because many of us, Aki, we need that, but we need to strike a balance between your personal work and just work, your personal life and work. Sometimes you bring over your personal issues at work, or sometimes they spill over at home, so we're going to be looking at that and striking that balance. How does that look like? What's the importance of that? And even for an organization, why is it important for you to encourage your employees, to have that work-life balance? That's the conversation we are having today with Miss Gathoni. She's a counselling psychologist. She's going to be taking us through all the way to 8 a.m. Good morning, Miss Gathoni.
Morning to you, Terry.
You're good?
Yeah, good. Great pleasure. Yes.
You're looking really sharp.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that compliment.
To everyone who's watching right now on YouTube, I'm so sure they see how beautiful you are.
Wow, let them be blessed.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Is it your first time on Truth FM?
Yes, it is my first time here, but I hope it's not going to be the last time. Maybe it's the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So maybe before we can get to the conversation, maybe a bit about yourself, a bit about what you do.
Yes, my name is Gathoni Ndung'u, a mother, and I work in mental health as a counseling psychologist, a motivator, and a mentor, and I also do employee assistance program.
Okay.
So I do many programs as far as mental health is concerned. I also YouTubing, and I'm an author. Yes. That's
amazing.
Thank you.
We know that your work is out there. We have heard of stories and good stuff about you. So karibu sana. Now, as we're talking about work-life balance, Ms. Gathoni, for sure, many of us, we are struggling in this area, just striking that balance. Just break it down for us. How does a good work-life balance look like?
Yes, work-life balance, it's whereby you are able to balance your life where you work and home. It is easier said, but we have to know that when we say balance, it means there is a conflict somewhere, and there is harmony at another time. So if we want to understand holistically what this means, we have to understand that in our life as individuals, even as employees and the employer, they also have other facets of life, and they are the ones that have to balance for a good, productive, and a healthy relationship. So we have physical, your body, yourself the way you are. Then you have your psychological, you have your emotional, you have career, you have finance, you have family, you have social life, and there is what we call personal development. All these areas have to develop, and you see, you have 24 hours a day, and working hours are even less, and you have to balance all of them. So one thing you have to realize is that you have to have a goal in your life. Otherwise, you will not even know when a problem is coming, because you don't know where you are going. Okay. And we are Christians, and sometimes we get our inspiration from the Bible. God worked for how many days?
6 days.
And then?
The seventh he rested.
He rested.
Yeah.
That is God. So even as human beings, we have to know that we are also limited. So there is that time we need to work, and there is that time we have to replenish our energy. Yes.
All right.
And when you replenish your energy, it can be at work, but most of the times we replenish when you are at home, when you are relating with your significant others, the food you eat, the people you relate with,
your children,
and your spiritualism. I'm saying spiritualism because there is a difference between religiosity and spiritualism, though there is a very thin line there. Yes.
I love what you're saying, because some of us, we are workaholics, and we say we know it. You will tend to bring whatever you are working on in the office. You'll tend to take it at home, or sometimes you will bring your issues to work. So let's look at first, taking your work to home, because sometimes you're in the office, you're doing all that. Since there is no goal, like you have told us, there is no clear where you're going, so you'll tend to actually take that work home, carry your laptop, which is not bad, but instead of even switching it off and connecting with people around, engaging with the people around, maybe it's your partner, it's your children, it's just something, maybe to people who go work out, to people who do other activities. Some of us, we don't have that. It's work. Unafika nyumbani, watch a laptop, you get on to do other things.
Yes.
How do we strike that balance? Because sometimes it's hard. You just want to continue working on and on and on.
Yes. Just like I said earlier on, God is God of order.
Yeah.
Because when they are in the beginning, the world was with no form, but he made it to be orderly the way it is.
Yes.
So likewise in life, there is something called boundary. You have to have clarity in your boundaries, your work life and your personal life. Because if they start getting if the boundary becomes so thin, there'll be an overflow. You have issues at home, you bring them at work. Things from work, you bring them at home. So by the end of the day, you are not able to achieve either of the two. So at place of work, you are not being able to achieve, you are not being able to deliver. There is a lot of conflict because some of the issues that you have brought along are not resonating with your place of work. Likewise, at home, where you are supposed to be a mother, a father, a sister, and where you are supposed maybe to be a pastor, a neighbor, you have spilled over. And you are bossing people at home like they are workers. So there ought to be clarity of boundaries. Yes.
And how do we set that boundary? How do we keep it going? Because sometimes you will set it, you put it there, and say, by the way, when I get home, I will switch off my phone, or I will not answer emails and whatnot, or still the same thing in the office. But how do you ensure that boundary is still there and it's ongoing?
Yes, there are a few things somebody has to do. It is that you have to have a clear calendar. You see, calendar at place of work, there are calendars of activities and what ought to be done, and programs and time. So you have to have issue with time management. How do you manage your time when you are given an assignment? How is the calendar there? How are the time schedule? You have to follow that and arrange them in a way that they're going to flow with you and those people who are around you.
Yes.
Sticking to working time. What it means is when you go to work, work. Some people, when they go to work, the first thing they do, they open the machine and they go to social media.
I feel like you're attacking me now.
And others, when they go to work, the first thing they do is to politic. And some people who also go to work, and I'm sorry for us Christians, that is when we want to convert everybody. And that is when we want to have our morning glory. And that is when some people are waiting in the lobby to be served. So we have said God is God of order. So as Christians, we have to live by that we have to be orderly. Another thing is that we have to listen and learn. Meaning there is nothing static, and that is why we are talking about balance. In the morning, things will be okay. In the evening, things have changed. That you can't go home. There is an emergency which has to be attended to. So even if you have a very strict schedule and time management, something can go off, something can tilt off. Yes, you can imagine like people who are working in emergency, people who are nurses, doctors, people who are like we are talking of policemen. Even generally at the place of work, we cannot have an emergency and you just say my time is over. I have to, because even in terms of employment, they say they give you job description and before they finish they say, and any other duty that may
which we don't like. We don't like that last.
Because the world is very predictable, but not absolutely predictable. There is always that twists. Then another thing is an issue of ability to delegate. Job should not be personalized. That only such and such a person by this name has to do that job. We have to empower other people working with that person, such that when that person is not present, the other person can take over. If that other person is not well, the other person can, and it moves so smoothly. But sometimes we just say such and such a person has to do this, and if that person is not there is a crisis. So earlier on I had said also being able to take time off.
Yeah.
If it is leave days, it's good to go and rejuvenate and empower yourself in those other areas of life and facets of life with your family. Because if you don't have a good life at home, be sure you'll transfer the same at the place of work.
Yeah.
So it's that balance that we are talking about. Yes.
And like you're saying, I mean, talk of also managing stress, because stress will tend to come here and there, whether it's in matters family or even if it's you're at work, you'll tend to be stressed here and there. Maybe something has not been done. You're an employer. You just got in. It's a Monday morning. Kazi ijafanywa bado. You know, you might be stressed here and there. Same thing with at home. So how do we cope up with that so that we ensure this does not spill over to my work or whatever I'm going through at home, it does not spill over to what I'm doing in the office? Because many a times we have worked in different places. You know, there are those bosses unasema, hey, leo ni kama kimeumana kwake, because you can tell how they're treating their employees. And the same thing with colleagues. There are some colleagues ataingia utasema, hey, ni kama amekosana na bwana, you know, because of how they are treating. So let's talk about coping with stress.
So coping with stress, I can answer it at 3 different levels.
Yeah.
You as an individual, you as a boss, and the workplace.
Okay.
Now, let's start with an individual. When we talk about life skills, we assume that by the time you are finishing Form 4, you have life skills. That is just an assumption. Life skills are skills that are accumulative. And you continue learning until the day you will die. Because circumstances keep on changing, depending where you are at, your age, your strengths, and everything. Because one time you are a provider, the other time you are being provided for.
Yes.
So there is that time you give, there is that time you just have to be given because of where you are at.
Yes.
So stress also is determined with your age, because challenges are different, and that is where we talk about life developmental cycles. Something that is bothering and in turn is not the same thing that is bothering a CEO.
That's true.
Something that is bothering a young adult who is in a relationship, it is not the same thing that is bothering somebody who is in midlife, like 50 to around 60.
It's different.
It is different.
Yeah.
So we also have to appreciate where we are at, the here and now. Here, where are you, Terry? Right now, we are with you. What can you do? So when you are working towards a problem, it's the here and now.
Yeah.
You cannot start saying, I wish I was in Voice of Africa, or I was in... No, you are here. So the problem you are going to answer is the here and now. So we have to be realistic when we are addressing a problem, because sometimes we go into world of fantasy and answer a problem that is hypothetical and a problem that is in another place. Answer where you are at. What is it? Is it a facilities that are not sufficient? Is it that the pay is not good? No, I'm not saying it's not good. Are you getting? So that is at an individual level.
Okay.
You can take it upon yourself to acquire the skills.
Okay.
God is good that He has made most of the materials to be available through the internet. You can Google. Yes, you can talk to somebody virtually. Even somebody you are not seeing, somebody who is a guru in the life skills. Then we go to the boss at the place of work.
Yes.
They have a responsibility towards those people who are working there. So they have to ensure that they have clear policies. They have programs that are assisting these people. Sometimes you have team building.
Yeah, team building helps a lot.
You have job description.
Yeah.
Because sometimes some of the stress we have at the place of work, it is just issue of disorganization and having gray areas whereby you don't know what to do. Anything you do, you are like walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
But there are organizations that strive so hard to make sure that there is clarity. When there is a problem, there is a way of addressing that issue. And also they invest in some of these skills. They invest in the life skills. They invest in things to do with the job related. They invest in people's emotion and all that. And some even have programs whereby they attend to those developmental issues we are talking about. So when somebody comes in as an intern, there is a whole program of orientation, of bringing in somebody into the culture of this organization,
which really helps mentally.
Yes. So there is no much gray area, and if it is there, it's very easy to know and take care of it. You are getting. Yes. And the way intern will be treated, obviously, will be different from how a young adult is going to be treated. And likewise, even somebody who is exiting, and when they exit, they can still identify with the organization because the culture there was so embracing. But there are some people, you just work because you have to earn. Otherwise, you're just always looking for your way out. Yes.
All right. So that's at the boss level.
Yeah, boss level. Is there another one which I've not answered?
I think you had mentioned 3. I don't know which was the third one. You had said
the third one was what?
You had said individual. You had said the boss.
Yes. No, the workplace.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But also the workplace, there is what the boss does to make the workplace better. So I think I've answered those together.
You have combined them together.
I've combined them together. So issue of clarity. And also I can say that the boss can set the mood in the workplace.
Yeah.
So they need something called self-awareness so that they can set out their boundaries to be very, very clear.
Yeah.
They don't spill over their emotions, their frustration to workers.
We have gotten that over the years.
Yeah, some are not aware. So some of them, when they come like a day like today, and they're very energized, and they decide today we are going to work overtime, they make sure everybody works overtime. Yeah. Some bosses, they go and do other things out there. Then they come in the evening, and when people are just about to check out, they say, excuse me guys, there is work to be done. You get?
Yeah.
So that is lack of boundary and respect. Yeah, that is emotional. That is how he's feeling that work ought to be done.
But they have attached it to now work.
Yes.
You know.
And there are some people who like controlling people. Yes. People are not supposed to be controlled. They are supposed to be empowered so that they are able to work. In return, they are supposed to respect you. Yes.
Controlling and micromanaging.
Controlling and micromanaging.
Now ni watu wazima.
And that is where conflict starts. Because human beings don't like being controlled. Okay, to a certain level. But when it goes beyond a certain level, then there is a lot of conflict. There is a lot of absenteeism. There is a lot of turnover. Yes. And there is a lot of accidents happening. Sometimes you don't know if they are deliberate or they are not. Yeah, that is a topic for another day.
That's topic for another day.
Yes.
But thank you so much for even enlightening us this morning.